When Rachel walked into the bridal shop and saw her younger sister Megan trying on her wedding dress, she thought it was just a joke. It wasn't. Rachel and Megan had always been close. Growing up, they shared a bedroom, whispered secrets under the covers at night, and promised to be each other's maid of honor someday. Rachel was the older sister, responsible, hard-working, always putting family first. Megan was the younger one, wild, spontaneous, the girl everyone noticed when she walked into a room. Their parents loved them both, but in different ways. Rachel was a steady one, the one they could count on. Megan was the one they worried about, but also the one who made them laugh. When Rachel got engaged to David, her boyfriend of 4 years, Megan cried happy tears. She hugged Rachel tight and said, "You deserve this. You deserve everything." Rachel believed her. David was perfect. He was kind, funny, and patient. He worked as a teacher at the local high school. He loved old movies and made Rachel breakfast every Sunday. He wasn't rich or famous, but he made Rachel feel safe, loved, chosen. The wedding was planned for June. Rachel had been dreaming about it for months. She picked out a beautiful white dress with lace sleeves and a long train. She chose pink roses for the bouquet. She asked Megan to be her maid of honor. Megan said yes with the biggest smile. Everything felt perfect, until it wasn't. 3 weeks before the wedding, Rachel had to pick up her dress from the bridal shop. The final alterations were done, and she couldn't wait to see it. She drove to the shop after work, humming along to the radio. She felt light, happy, excited, but when she walked through the door, she froze. There, standing in front of the mirror in the fitting area, was Megan, wearing Rachel's wedding dress. Rachel's heart stopped. Her stomach dropped. She couldn't breathe. "Megan," Rachel whispered, her voice shaking. Megan spun around, her face lighting up. She didn't look guilty. She didn't look ashamed. She looked happy. "Rachel, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're here." Megan said, twirling in the dress, "I wanted to surprise you. I wanted to see what I'd look like as your maid of honor, standing next to you. Isn't this dress gorgeous?" Rachel stared at her. Something felt wrong. Very wrong. "Why are you wearing my dress?" Rachel asked slowly. Megan laughed. "I told you. I just wanted to try it on. I couldn't help myself. It's so beautiful." The shop owner, an older woman named Linda, stood nearby with an uncomfortable expression. She looked at Rachel and said quietly, "I'm sorry. She said you sent her to pick it up. She had your name and everything." Rachel's chest tightened. "I didn't send her." Megan's smile faltered for just a second. "Rachel, relax. I was just trying it on. Don't be so serious." But Rachel knew. She knew that look in Megan's eyes. It was the same look Megan had when they were kids, and she'd taken Rachel's favorite toy without asking. The same look she had when she borrowed Rachel's car and returned with an empty gas tank. The same look that always meant, "I did something I shouldn't have, but I'm going to act like it's no big deal." "Take it off," Rachel said, her voice steady but cold. "Rachel, take it off. Now." Megan's face hardened. She didn't say anything. She just walked back into the fitting room and slammed the curtain shut. Rachel stood there, trembling. Linda touched her arm gently. "I'm sorry, dear. I should have called you first." But she seemed so sure. "It's okay," Rachel said, though it wasn't okay. Nothing was okay. When Megan came out, she handed the dress to Linda without looking at Rachel. Then she grabbed her purse and walked toward the door. "Megan, wait," Rachel called. Megan stopped but didn't turn around. "Why did you really come here?" Rachel asked. Megan was silent for a long moment. Then she looked over her shoulder, and for just a second, Rachel saw something in her eyes. Something dark. Something jealous. "Because I want to know what it felt like," Megan said quietly, "to be you." Then she walked out. Rachel stood in the middle of the bridal shop, her heart pounding, her mind racing. She didn't understand. What did Megan mean? Why would she say that? Rachel drove home in silence, gripping the steering wheel so tight her knuckles turned white. When she got home, David was cooking dinner. He smiled when he saw her. "Hey, how's the dress? Does it fit perfectly?" Rachel forced a smile. "Yeah, it's perfect." But nothing felt perfect anymore. Something had shifted. Something had broken. That night, Rachel couldn't sleep. She lay awake, staring at the ceiling, replaying Megan's words in her mind. "I want to know what it felt like to be you." What did that mean? And why did it feel like a warning? Rachel didn't know it yet, but her world was about to fall apart. The next few days were strange. Megan didn't call, didn't text, didn't apologize. It was like the bridal shop incident never happened. Rachel tried to brush it off. Maybe Megan was embarrassed. Maybe she just needed space. Maybe Rachel was overreacting. But deep down, Rachel couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Then, a week before the wedding, Rachel's mom called. "Honey, I just got off the phone with Megan." Her mom said, her voice tense. "She's upset. She says you yelled at her at the bridal shop and embarrassed her in front of everyone." Rachel's jaw dropped. "What? That's not what happened." "She's crying, Rachel. She says you accuse her of trying to steal your dress." "She was wearing my dress, Mom, without permission." Her mom sighed. "Rachel, she's your sister. She was just excited. You know how she gets. Can't you just let it go?" Rachel felt her chest tighten. This was classic Megan. Twist the story. Play the victim. Make everyone feel sorry for her. "Mom, I didn't yell at her. I just asked her to take off my dress." "Well, she's really hurt. Maybe you should apologize." "Apologize?" Rachel's voice rose. "For what?" "For making her feel bad." Her mom said gently, "You know she's sensitive." Rachel wanted to scream, but she didn't. She just said, "I'll think about it," and hung up. She sat on her couch, staring at her phone. Why did Megan always get away with everything? Why was Rachel always the one expected to apologize? David came home from work and found her sitting in silence. "Hey, what's wrong?" Rachel told him everything. The bridal shop, Megan's weird comment, her mom's phone call. David frowned. "That's strange. Do you think Megan's jealous?" "I don't know," Rachel said. "Maybe, but why would she be jealous of me? She's a fun one, the pretty one. Everyone loves her." David sat beside her and took her hand. "Rachel, you're getting married. You're happy. Some people can't handle seeing others happy." Rachel wanted to believe that wasn't true, but the more she thought about it, the more it made sense. Over the next few days, Rachel noticed more strange things. Megan posted a picture on Instagram wearing a white dress. Not Rachel's wedding dress, but a white dress. The caption read, "Feeling like a bride." Rachel stared at the post, her stomach churning. Dozens of comments flooded in. "You look gorgeous." "Are you getting married?" "Stunning queen." Megan didn't respond to any of them. She just liked the comments and posted heart emojis. Rachel felt sick. Why would Megan post something like that right before Rachel's wedding? Then, 2 days before the wedding, Rachel's phone buzzed. It was a text from her cousin, Emily. "Hey, just want to give you a heads up. Megan's been asking a lot of questions about David. Like, personal questions. Is everything okay?" Rachel's heart sank. "What kind of questions?" "Like where he works, what his schedule is, stuff like that. I thought it was weird, but I didn't want to start drama. But now I'm worried." Rachel felt her hands go cold. Why would Megan be asking about David? She called David immediately. "Have you talked to Megan lately?" "Megan? No, why? Has she texted you? Called you? Anything?" David paused. "Actually, yeah. She texted me a few days ago asking if I needed help with anything for the wedding. I thought it was nice of her." Rachel's stomach twisted. "What did you say?" "I just said thanks, but we're good." "Why? What's going on?" Rachel didn't answer. She just said, "I'll talk to you later," and hung up. She sat on her bed, her mind racing. Something was happening, something bad. She could feel it. That night, Rachel barely slept. She kept checking her phone, waiting for something, though she didn't know what. The next morning, the day before the wedding, Rachel got a call from David. His voice sounded strange. "Tight. Rachel, we need to talk." Her heart dropped. "What's wrong? Can you come over?" "I don't want to do this over the phone." Rachel drove to David's apartment, her hands shaking on the steering wheel. When she got there, David was standing outside, his face pale. "What happened?" Rachel asked, her voice trembling. David looked at her, pain in his eyes. "Megan came by last night." Rachel felt the world tilt. "What?" "She showed up at my door around 10. She said she needed to talk to me. She said it was important." "What did she want?" David took a deep breath. "She told me she was in love with me." Rachel felt like she'd been punched in the stomach. "She what?" "She said she's been in love with me for years. That she never said anything, because you met me first. But now, with the wedding so close, she couldn't keep it inside anymore." Rachel couldn't breathe. Her vision blurred. "What did you say?" "I told her she needed to leave. I told her I love you, that I'm marrying you, that what she was doing was wrong." "And then what?" David's jaw clenched. "She cried. She begged me to reconsider. She said you don't appreciate me the way she would. She said," he stopped, his voice breaking. "What?" Rachel whispered. "She said you were only marrying me because you're scared of being alone." Tears streamed down Rachel's face. She felt shattered, humiliated, broken. "Do you believe her?" Rachel asked, her voice barely audible. David grabbed her hands. "Of course not. Rachel, I know why you're marrying me. Because we love each other. Because we choose each other. Because we're a team." Rachel sobbed. How could she do this? "She's my sister." "I don't know," David said, pulling her into his arms. "I don't know." They stood there for a long time, holding each other. Rachel felt like her entire world had been turned upside down. Her sister, her own sister, had tried to steal her fiancé the night before her wedding. Rachel didn't know what to do. She didn't know if she should cancel the wedding, confront Megan, tell her parents. All she knew was that nothing would ever be the same. That afternoon, Rachel's phone buzzed. It was a text from Megan. "I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I just needed to know if he felt the same way. I hope he can forgive me." Rachel stared at the message, her hands shaking. No remorse. No real apology. Just excuses. She didn't respond. That night, Rachel sat alone in her apartment. The wedding was tomorrow. Her dress was hanging in the closet. The flowers were ordered. The guests were arriving. But all Rachel felt was emptiness. She thought about calling the whole thing off. She thought about running away. She thought about confronting Megan in front of everyone. But then her phone buzzed again. This time, it was a text from an unknown number. "You need to see this." Attached was a screenshot. A conversation between Megan and someone named Jake. Rachel opened it. Her blood ran cold. The messages were from 3 months ago. Megan had written, "I'm going to make David fall for me. Rachel doesn't deserve him. I do." Jake had responded, "Are you serious?" Megan, dead serious. "I just need time. He'll see I'm the better choice." Rachel's heart pounded. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment confession. This was planned, calculated. Megan had been plotting this for months. Rachel's hands shook as she read through more messages. Megan had been flirting with David behind Rachel's back, texting him, finding excuses to be around him, all while pretending to be the supportive sister. Rachel felt rage building inside her. Not sadness, not hurt, rage. Her sister had betrayed her in the worst possible way. But Rachel wasn't going to let her get away with it. The wedding day arrived. Rachel woke up early, Her heart heavy, but her mind clear. She knew what she had to do. She got dressed in her beautiful white gown. She did her makeup. She pinned her hair up. She looked at herself in the mirror and took a deep breath. Today wasn't going to go the way Megan expected. The ceremony was at a small church on the edge of town. White roses lined the aisle. Soft music played. Guests filled the pews, smiling and whispering. Megan arrived in a blush pink dress. The maid of honor dress Rachel had picked out for her. She smiled at everyone, acting like nothing had happened. Rachel watched her from the bridal suite. She felt nothing. No anger. No sadness. Just cold determination. David stood at the altar, looking nervous but handsome in his suit. He kept glancing toward the door, waiting for Rachel. The music changed. The wedding march began. Rachel walked down the aisle, her father beside her. Everyone stood. Cameras flashed. People wiped tears from their eyes. Rachel reached the altar. David smiled at her, relief flooding his face. The officiant began. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today. Rachel barely heard the words. She was focused on what came next. When it was time for the vows, Rachel turned to face the crowd. Everyone looked confused. Before we continue, Rachel said, her voice steady, there's something I need to say. David's eyes widened. The officiant looked alarmed. Megan's face went pale. Rachel pulled out her phone. 3 months ago, my sister Megan sent a message to someone. She said, I'm going to make David fall for me. Rachel doesn't deserve him. I do. Gasps echoed through the church. People turned to look at Megan. Megan stood frozen, her face white as a sheet. Rachel continued, her voice calm but firm. 2 nights ago, Megan went to David's apartment. She told him she was in love with him. She begged him to leave me. More gasps. Rachel's mother stood up, her hand over her mouth. Rachel, what are you? I'm telling the truth, Mom, Rachel said. Megan has been trying to sabotage my relationship for months. She tried on my wedding dress without permission. She asked family members personal questions about David. She flirted with him behind my back. And when that didn't work, she confessed her feelings to him the night before my wedding. The church was silent. You could hear a pin drop. Megan's face crumbled. Tears streamed down her cheeks. Rachel, Don't, Rachel said, her voice hard. Don't try to explain. Don't try to twist this into something it's not. Megan looked around desperately. People stared at her with disgust, disappointment, anger. Rachel's father stepped forward. Is this true, Megan? Megan opened her mouth, but no words came out. She just stood there, crying. David walked over to Rachel and took her hand. You didn't have to do this, he whispered. Yes, I did, Rachel said. I needed everyone to know the truth. Rachel turned back to the crowd. I'm not canceling the wedding. David didn't do anything wrong. He turned Megan down. He chose me. He's been honest with me from the start. She looked at Megan one last time. But I need everyone here to understand what betrayal really looks like. It doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people you trust most. Megan ran out of the church, sobbing. A few people followed her, but most stayed seated, stunned. Rachel's mother approached her, tears in her eyes. Rachel, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I should have believed you. Rachel hugged her mom. It's okay. I just needed the truth to come out. The officiant cleared his throat awkwardly. Should we continue? Rachel looked at David. Do you still want to marry me? David smiled, his eyes glistening with tears. More than anything. Rachel smiled back. Then let's do this. The ceremony continued. It wasn't perfect. It wasn't the fairy tale Rachel had imagined, but it was real, honest, true. When the officiant said, You may kiss the bride, David kissed Rachel like she was the only person in the world. The guests erupted in applause. Some cried. Some cheered. Some were still processing what had just happened. But Rachel didn't care. She had done what she needed to do. She had spoken her truth. And now she could move forward. At the reception, people approached Rachel and David, offering congratulations and apologies. "I'm so sorry you had to go through that." One guest said. "You handled it with so much grace," another said. Rachel smiled and thanked them, but inside, she felt exhausted, relieved, free. Megan didn't come to the reception. Rachel's parents said she had gone home. Rachel's mom pulled her aside. "I talked to Megan. She's devastated. She knows she messed up." Rachel nodded. "I know. Do you think you'll ever forgive her?" Rachel looked out at the dance floor, where David was laughing with his friends. "I don't know, Mom. Maybe someday. But not today." Her mom squeezed her hand. "I understand." Later that night, after the reception ended, Rachel and David sat on the steps outside the venue, still in their wedding clothes. "That was the craziest wedding I've ever been to," David said, laughing. Rachel laughed too. "Yeah, not exactly how I pictured it." "Do you regret it? Calling her out like that?" Rachel thought about it. "No, I needed to. Not for revenge, but for me. I needed people to know the truth. I needed to stop protecting someone who hurt me." David nodded. "You were brave." "I was angry," Rachel corrected. "You can be both," David said, kissing her forehead. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the stars. Rachel thought about Megan. Part of her felt sad. Sad that their relationship would never be the same. Sad that jealousy had destroyed something that used to be beautiful. But another part of her felt strong, empowered, like she had finally stood up for herself. "Do you think she'll ever change?" David asked. "I hope so," Rachel said. "But that's not my responsibility. I can't fix her. I can only protect myself." David smiled. "I'm proud of you." Rachel leaned her head on his shoulder. "I'm proud of me, too." The weeks after the wedding were strange. Rachel and David went on their honeymoon to a beach in Florida. They swam in the ocean, ate fresh seafood, and watched the sunset every evening. It was peaceful, healing. But Rachel couldn't stop thinking about Megan. She wondered if Megan was okay, if she was angry, if she hated Rachel, if she was getting help. Rachel's mom called a few times with updates. "Megan's seeing a therapist," she said. "She's really struggling, but she's trying." Rachel was glad, but she still wasn't ready to talk to Megan. Not yet. One evening, while Rachel and David were walking along the beach, David asked, "Do you miss her?" Rachel thought about it. "I miss who I thought she was. I miss the sister I had before all this, but I don't miss the person she became." "Do you think you'll ever talk to her again?" "Maybe," Rachel said, "but only if she really changes. Only if she understands what she did and why it was wrong." David nodded. "That's fair." They walked in silence for a while, the waves crashing softly against the shore. "You know," Rachel said quietly, "I used to think betrayal would destroy me, that if someone I loved hurt me, I'd never recover. And now I know I'm stronger than I thought. Betrayal hurts, but it doesn't define you. How you respond to it does." David smiled. "You responded with grace, even when you were angry." Rachel shook her head. "I don't know about grace. I just responded with honesty." "That's a kind of grace," David said. When they returned home, Rachel dove into her work. She was a graphic designer, and she threw herself into new projects. She found joy in creating again, in building something beautiful out of nothing. She also started going to therapy. She realized that even though she had spoken her truth at the wedding, she still had pain to work through, hurt to process. Her therapist, a kind woman named Dr. Ellis, helped her understand something important. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about releasing the weight so you can move forward. Rachel thought about that a lot. She wasn't ready to forgive Megan yet, but she was ready to stop carrying the anger. She started journaling, writing down her feelings, her fears, her hopes. It helped. David supported her through it all. He never pushed her to reconcile with Megan. He just held her when she cried and reminded her that she was loved. 3 months after the wedding, Rachel received a letter in the mail. It was from Megan. Rachel stared at the envelope for a long time before opening it. Her hands shook as she unfolded the paper. The letter was long, handwritten, tear-stained. Megan wrote, "Dear Rachel, I don't expect you to read this. I don't expect you to forgive me. I just need you to know that I'm sorry. I've been in therapy for 3 months now. I'm learning about jealousy, about insecurity, about how I've hurt people because I was hurting inside. I know that's not an excuse. I know sorry is enough. But I need you to know that I'm working on myself. I'm trying to become someone better. You were always the perfect one, the responsible one, the one everyone could count on. And I resented you for it. I wanted what you had. I wanted to feel important, special, loved. But I went about it in the worst possible way. I hurt you. I betrayed you. And I will regret that for the rest of my life. I don't know if you'll ever want to talk to me again. I understand if you don't. But if you ever do, I'll be here. And I promise I'll be different. I love you, Rachel. I always have. I just didn't know how to show it in a healthy way. Love, Megan." Rachel read the letter 3 times. Tears streamed down her face. She didn't know what to feel. Anger? Sadness? Relief? All of it, maybe. She folded the letter and put it in a drawer. She wasn't ready to respond. But she also didn't throw it away. That night, she told David about the letter. "What are you going to do?" he asked. "I don't know," Rachel said. "Part of me wants to reach out. Part of me wants to keep my distance." "You don't have to decide right now," David said. "Give yourself time." Rachel nodded. "I think I will." Months passed. Then a year. Rachel and David built a beautiful life together. They bought a small house with a garden. They adopted a dog named Charlie. They hosted dinners with friends and took weekend trips to the mountains. Rachel felt happy, truly happy. She still thought about Megan sometimes, wondered how she was doing, if she was still in therapy, if she had really changed. One afternoon, Rachel ran into Megan at the grocery store. They stood in the cereal aisle, staring at each other. It had been over a year since they'd seen each other. Megan looked different, softer, humbled. Her eyes were kind but sad. "Hi," Megan said quietly. "Hi," Rachel replied. They stood in awkward silence for a moment. "How are you?" Megan asked. "I'm good," Rachel said. "Really good." Megan smiled, though her eyes glistened with tears. "I'm glad. You deserve to be happy." Rachel studied her sister's face. She saw genuine remorse there, genuine change. "How are you?" Rachel asked. "Better," Megan said. "I'm still in therapy, still working on myself. I got a new job. I'm trying to be a better person." Rachel nodded. "That's good." Another silence. "Rachel," Megan said, her voice breaking, "I'm so sorry for everything. I know I can never undo what I did, but I want you to know I'm trying." Rachel felt tears prick her eyes. "I know. Do you think—" Megan hesitated. "Do you think we could ever talk? Maybe get coffee sometime?" Rachel took a deep breath. She thought about the letter, the therapy sessions, the healing she'd done over the past year. She wasn't fully healed, but she was stronger. "Maybe," Rachel said softly. "Not today, but maybe someday." Megan nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Okay, I'll wait, as long as it takes." They said goodbye and went their separate ways. As Rachel walked to her car, she felt something she hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Not because she had forgiven Megan completely. Not because everything was fixed, but because she had made a choice. A choice to stay open, to leave room for healing, to believe that people could change. That evening, Rachel sat on her porch with David, watching the sunset. "I saw Megan today," she said. David looked at her. How was it? Emotional, Rachel said. But not bad. She apologized again. Asked if we could talk sometime. What did you say? I said maybe. David smiled. I'm proud of you. Rachel leaned her head on his shoulder. I'm proud of me, too. They sat in comfortable silence, watching the sky turn pink and gold. Rachel thought about everything she'd been through. The betrayal, the pain, the anger, the healing. She realized something important. Forgiveness is a moment. It's a process. It's a choice you make over and over again. And sometimes the bravest thing you can do is stay open to the possibility of change, not just in others, but in yourself. Rachel touched the wedding ring on her finger and smiled. You know, she said softly, I used to think betrayal was the end of the story, but it's not. It's just the beginning of a different one. David kissed the top of her head. And what kind of story is it? Rachel smiled. One about strength, about healing, about learning that you can be hurt and still choose love. She looked out at the sunset, feeling the warmth on her face. Sometimes life doesn't give you revenge, she whispered. It gives you the chance to become someone stronger than you ever thought possible. And that's the kind of justice that lasts forever,